Hello, YouTube. Welcome to something new, maybe a one-off, but if you guys like it more, I'd be more than willing to make a regular series on this game. This is World of Horror, as you can see. So, as you can see, it's very stylized, even the game itself. You can choose to remove this so that it just zooms in on the screen, but I really like the almost like retro feel, and like that it gives almost like you're playing an old game on like a CRT. So it's a game where you pick a investigator, is maybe the right word. Very Arkham Horror-esque, where you are trying to stop an old god from being summoned in the town you live in. So, you know, we'll just play this intro. Something strange is happening in our town. Robed figures can be seen gathering in the woods at night. People are going missing. Disgusting creatures are terrorizing the seaside. The rapid technological progress of the modern era brings comfort, but also new unknown threats. Old gods, malicious eldritch beings who ruled the earth eons ago, are awakening as reality starts to crumble. Armed with clues, spells, and your dwindling sanity, you'll investigate mysteries across the city and in realms beyond. An old train slows down and stops at its last station. The end of the world is at hand, and you finally arrived in the doomed town. So, I've unlocked a bunch of characters, but it is roguelike. Is it roguelike or roguelite? I forget what it is. Where you unlock things after each run, but each run is self-contained. So you have all these different characters you can choose from. You start with like these 5 to start with, like these these 5 characters to start with, and then as you get more achievements in the game, you can unlock more characters to play as. But we'll leave some of those characters for later. We'll play this guy. Haru, robbing that old abandoned manor was a mistake, with his friends dead and mutilated and a vengeful horror chasing him. No speed is too fast. So he's got more strength, less knowledge, and he starts with cigarettes. What a powerful boon, right? So you also have all these backstories you unlock as you beat the game, but actually, yeah, we'll do this. So we'll start with also one of these backstories. So instead of just having no effect, like nothing happening, we'll have a backstory. So what this will give us as well is your family was cursed, everyone around you will die. You start the playthrough with extra money, but you can't have any allies, at least human allies. So we'll do that. Here's where you select your god that you want to face, and I've unlocked an extra god, but we'll keep that up secret for now. So we got Chitak Atuasu, the spider god. Their ability is you can't run from combat. Ithotu, the devouring fire. Their ability is both your damage and enemies is increased. Athlazalt, the towering eye. Or Yolast, how do you pronounce that? Casting spells costs reason. Casting spells that cost reason increase doom instead of costing reason. And this one makes Goizo, the thing forsaken by God, makes it so that resting increases a doom penalty more. So now if I wanted to cheese it and go for an easy win, I would pick this one because I'm playing a character that has low knowledge, so I won't be using spells likely. But I'm not going to do that. We're going to do this one where you can't run from combat. Plus, who doesn't love a good spider god? Right? They're just cool. Your family was cursed, everyone around you will die. So we have 8 funds instead of 4. That's pretty noticeable. His ability is also, he gets +1 damage while under the effect of a nicotine rush. So, he likes to smoke. Yeah, we'll just keep it default, I think. Oh, interesting. This one is gone because I can't get human allies. That's cool. So, let's show you the basic gameplay loop. After we choose our outfit, we gotta go for the Kiryu outfit. So, there's 5 mysteries. These are all randomly selected from a list of, I think, like 20 or 30 mysteries. I don't know how many exactly, but there's a lot of mysteries. So you'll get 5 randomly selected at the start of your run, and you gotta do all 5 of them. And then once you do all 5, you get access to the lighthouse, which is where you need to go to seal the evil away. And you have to do it before Doom reaches 100%, or else the world ends, sort of thing. So it's pretty cool. So, horrible history of household hell, rotten report of a rancid ramen, Southward saga of moonlight sailors, far out fable of a fear festival, chilling chronicle of a crimson cape. Let's see. Let's do horrible history of household hell. There are many old mansions around this town. Boo Manor is one of them, supposedly haunted by a family of 4 who disappeared without a trace one summer. But is it the only tragic event that took place there? So, when you're investigating as well, you'll get a side quest you can do that will get you extra rewards, sometimes access to different endings to the quest as well, and you get bonus XP when you finish it. So it's typically good to do the side quests right away. So, but first things first, we have 8 funds, so let's spend them. Now, our guy likes... Yeah, I was hoping to get a weapon here, but our guy likes cigarettes, so we're gonna get those. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. So if we use... Yeah, if we use these right away, I'll unlock an achievement. So I'm gonna just do that. So I'll add a bunch of cigarettes to our case. And I believe we'll have... Yep, there we go. New achievement unlocked. So we got that. Let's see if we can get a weapon here, maybe. Monkey wrench. Flashing. Sure. That'll be good enough for now. We'll have to boost our strength to make up for the -1 strength it's given us, though. So, let's investigate. So as you investigate, you'll get random events that'll happen. Putting your hand in that hole was a bad idea. Seeing that big spider escape, you hope it wasn't poisonous. We got a random injury, bites. Hopefully it goes away on its own. So with a bite, it has a chance to become nothing or become a worse injury. So I'm actually going to go to the hospital for that. While we're here, we're going to steal some painkillers. And then we will pay 1 gold to have him treat us. Okay, that really sucks. Yeah, whenever you get treatment at the hospital, you get a random effect. Sometimes it's good, usually it's bad though, so. Stop! This is a crime scene. You are halted by a sweaty police officer. Behind him, 2 other policemen are packing something into black bags. Trailing what happened? Focus on the officers. Focus on the officers. You notice something weird. Every officer has a tiny tattoo on their neck. Who are they and what are they really doing here? Got XP. You've learned the mansion was built on it. It is famous for its extensive cave system. You've decided to rent some books that might help you. Architect's Journal. One homeowner, however, decided to make use of the cave tunnel as a natural concert hall. He claims. 432 Hertz is all we need to know about that one. You're stopped dead in your tracks by the feeling of cold metal against your back. Look over your shoulder. Recognize me? The Yakuza's face sneers. So the funny thing about this is each character has their own unique encounters and come across too. So this is one unique to him because he's part of the Yakuza. What the hell? You let out a rumbling yell, turning and driving your fist into empty air. There's nobody there. He's gone. Your wild swing sends you stumbling and confused. All this shit is really starting to get to you, but even if you ran into one of the real guys, they'd probably hate your guts just as much. Solve this event. And the building was supposed to be somewhere near the cliffs, so you copied the mansion's photo from the newspaper and prepare to leave. So now we're investigating downtown to learn more info. I don't usually read those things at the top, but it does kind of give you an idea as to what's happening, which is kind of cool. So, well, don't have a map, so we're gonna get lost. Plus 2% doom. You spend hours trying to find a way out. Finally, completely exhausted, you end up on the main street as a passage to the blighted neighborhood slowly closes behind you. You will need a strong rope to enter the mansion through the high window. Comparing different mansions with the sketch, you finally found the one. There's only one problem. Yep. So then we go. So it's kind of cool how the characters have a logical flow to things too. Let's look for a warehouse job. Nice, we got more money. In that case, I want to see if we can get an item for one of our other slots. Backpack, not really that useful. No. We're gonna reroll for a 3% doom. That's one of my favorite items to get. So, compass. So we'll equip that in our C slot. So you have a weapon slot, accessory slot, and like a bag slot, basically. So this one will give us 2 XP every time we investigate a location, which is going to really add up the course of the game, and probably give me a full level on its own since I'm getting it in the first act. So it's pretty cool. Looks like one of the previous owners of this mansion likes to read. Dusty Tums reached the ceiling. You don't have much time, but maybe you could spare a minute to look through books? Nah, I'm not smart enough for books. You hear a weird noise coming from the lock study. You must find the key. So now we're exploring this place. It's about time we got a cash, says the grim-looking man who's standing in your way. Our company, fortunately, specializes in cases like yours, and will gladly help you get back on track. After all, he takes a step closer, and you could swear there's a faint smell of rust around the man. Everyone has something to sell. You startle awake on a park bench. Did you faint? There's no sign of the grim man anywhere, but you find an envelope full of cash inside your pocket. So I took 3 damage, and I got 2 funds. Ooh, now you get to see what combat's like. Countless spoons fly out of a cupboard when a ghastly figure materializes in the middle of the room. Ooh, Rumu ghosts. So ghosts are special. I can't beat them up. I have to exercise them. You can either do that by just basically doing this action twice and guaranteed doing damage to them, or you can do claps and bows. You have to do 5 of them, and if you get the right combination of claps and bows, it's completely random every fight. But if you do it, then you will remove, or you will exercise the ghost. So that said, I'm trying to win, so I'm just gonna take the 3 damage. It'll take 2 damage to guarantee take care of this enemy. Whereas if I go for the claps and bows, I might get it in 1 or 2 goes, but it also could take like 4 or 5. So we're just gonna take the safe route for now. If we're in a pinch later on against a ghost, then that's when we'll do it. There's a local legend about a heartbroken seamstress. One stormy night, she broke into a local inn and stitched the unsuspecting guests together. Her final gruesome artwork. But that's just a legend, right? Inside the cupboard, you find a sewing kit and decide to leave the room before any legends spring to life. So with that, we can use it to heal a bit, but then we permanently lose a charisma. So I suppose one thing I should explain too. Oh, we found it. You aren't sure what to expect. The sturdy door to the study opens with a creak. The dark, dusty room is empty, but something feels wrong. A faint draft, perhaps. You move the rotten carpet aside to reveal a secret passageway cut directly into the cliff rock. Ooh, sorry. So here we can choose. We can step closer, or we can look around more. And depending on the choices you make when we get to things like this, we will get different outcomes for this result. For this thing. Following a strange song, you discover a hidden passage that leads you to an underground chamber connected to the sea. You can't find the source of the sounds, but then it hits you. The acoustics of this place make the waves sound like the most beautiful serenade. Mesmerized, you step closer to the stone altar at the end of the room. You try to explore the dark quarters, but it's too dark. If only you had some source of light. So, it looks like we have to go closer to the altar. Unholy chants coming from the caves connected to the mansion have driven the family insane. With no connection to the outside world, they fed on what they had, themselves. However, this doesn't explain the fresh corpses and wet tracks around the altar. Global history of Household Hell. Ending C. So as you can see, there's several endings you can get that have different little outcomes and stuff. So for winning, we got 30 XP. For doing the side quest, we got an extra 15 experience. -3 doom. We get a little bit of health and sanity back, and then time passes. After every investigation, you get a extra effect that gets added to the game as well. And that's also randomly selected from a pool of like 30 or so. So, school curfew. The library action is disabled at school, so that's fine. That's forgetting spells, which we don't use with our characters, so we're A-okay with that. And yeah, after you do a mission, you get a key, and you need 5 keys to open the lighthouse, so. Let's do this so that we level up. So when you level up, you get a perk. Ooh, one additional slot becomes available in all shops. Remove the illicit tag from all items. That's cool. We'll do that. And let's upgrade our strength. And let's knowledge, perception. Yeah, we'll do that. And we'll take strength up, because that's what we're going to use to fight normally. So. Well, let's just go in order. So, rotten report of rancid ramen. Out of thin air, a brand new ramen restaurant opens in town. It's adored by everyone. Once people take a bite, they can't stop. Day and night, the queues stretch out the door. The shambling customers stuff themselves with dish after dish, while the blind owner sits silently behind the counter, grinning and polishing his gleaming knives. You are determined to discover what makes this ramen so enticing. What is its true power? Dog meat? Human meat? The flesh of gods themselves? So for this one, we have to discard 2 items to complete the side quest. So that one can be tougher to do normally. But we do have 2 items to discard. But, we'll wait and see if we get more items for now. Watching the local news, you spot a familiar street. It's a feature about the newest ramen shop. The food critic has a manic look on it as he describes ramen. His description makes your stomach churn. So let's investigate a bit. When you stop by home to pick up your lunch, you find a pile of letters in your mailbox. So I forgot to mention this earlier, but the way this works, when you get a thing like this, depending on what option you get, it'll typically do a skill test. And I don't know the exact math for how it goes, but the higher, obviously, your stat is in that, the more likely it is to succeed. Oh, nothing happened there, I guess. And then, you know, depending on if you succeed or fail, you'll get different outcomes. So, should prepare about the possible lead so far. You're very tired, so maybe ice cold water is a good idea. Sure, let's do a cold bath. So yeah, strength success. So yeah, strength check success. Ice cold water revitalizes you, and you're ready for the investigation. So we get an extra 10 XP for that. The only true way to investigate is to go into the restaurant yourself. Dark forces scheme against you. You don't know who you can trust anymore. We got -1 charisma. So charisma is not gonna be our character's strong suit, it looks like. Dame. The investigation is starting to take a toll on your health. You feel like you're about to fall asleep. Standing up. How you dress you weaken state. Let's go for a jog. For some reason. Quick exercise helps clear your mind. Perfect. Smell in the restaurant is overpowering. Grease, rot, and is that blood you can smell? Oh, I like that. My mouth looks bloody because of the curse I have, even though I'm smoking. You wonder what kind of animal that spider is caught in its web. You scare away the annoyed predator and rip open the cocoon to reveal a human finger. First of all, why are we doing that? What kind of asshole are we? Just let the spider eat in peace. We got a ring, which can give us extra dex in exchange for stamina. I'm good for now. In fact, you know what? Let's discard that. And we'll discard this. To finish a subquest. You sneak into the alley of the dead of night, or in the dead of night. Gagging, you look through the restaurant's garbage. It's all vile pulp, though a few chunks of meat look like promising samples. So we got some smelly meat. It's finally your turn to order. 1 ramen, please. The owner's grin widens. They say a ghost of a heartbroken boy appears in the street at night. It's just an urban legend, or is there... Oh, is it just an urban legend, or is there some truth to this tale? So we need holy candles to get an alternate result. Which I think is really cool, too, that having certain items can get you other results for some things, too. check success. You wait the entire night observing the spot where the supposed ghost would appear, but nothing happens. You're relieved it's just a rumor. The Red Bull is pushed in your face. It's so crowded that you're forced to sit on the floor. Seeing the two chopped off heads, you can't help but wonder who's been preparing your food for the past week. Oh, charisma check, that was risky. At the nearest Koban, you tell the officer about the gruesome discovery. The old policeman is grateful and gives you a small reward before disappearing inside to make a call. Hell yeah, we have money. With a slick hand, you fill a vial with the soup and walk out, all without tasting the weird dish. Investigate lab. With the pulling of some delicate strings, you get the ramen into a lab. While handling over the gathered material, you hesitate. What should you send to the laboratory? Look at the vial empty. You look at the charts and cannot believe your eyes. While the standard test didn't detect anything weird, adding drops of human blood revealed something horrible. Whatever this thing is made of, it's alive, beating a soft pulse against the glass. Your friend leaves you with the papers, muttering an excuse and preparing to flee town on the next trade. Prepared for a fight, you march down to the restaurant. However, you find no eldritch horror to duel. Instead, you're shocked to find nothing but a gap in the street. You ignore the distraught customer still lining up where they remember the entrance. Investigating the grounds, you see something glisten where the kitchen used to be. Cautiously, you look at the chunk of meat and then jump back with a yell. As it flexes, it opens a weary eye, grins and wanders off on stubby black claws. You walk home shaken. In your head, you hear the weird ramen breathing into its bowl. You only stop to throw up on the street. Rotten report of rancid ramen ending A. So, there we go. That's the next effect. Heart of Darkness. The imposing shadow cast by the old lighthouse is getting longer each day. With that, we have an extra floor to get through to do on the lighthouse. So basically, that just means that I have to be careful about not having too much doom by the time we get to the lighthouse. So, I will say, I'm surprised at how little combat we've gotten on our investigations so far. Because of that, we're just going to keep doing the XP boost, because we don't need to recover our health or sanity too much, so. Well, next up, Sorrowful Saga of the Moonlight Sailors. It began with one fisherman, who dragged something truly awful from the belly of the ocean. A dark, writhing ooze that mesmerized him beyond control. He hid himself away for a week, adoring it, not to be seen until one moonlit night when a young girl spotted his boat drifting away. A single lantern swinging at the helm and the captivated fisherman singing eerily to his catch. Now, more and more fishermen have begun to find the vile ooze in their nets, and one by one, they are disappearing. Soon, the ocean will have taken them all. So let's actually shop for items here, because we got... Actually, let's go to the illegal then. Interesting, you can hire an ally. I don't think it would let me with my issue I have, though. Let's see, we'll just buy a cigarette, I guess, because that's what our character likes. Just make sure we're always good on cigarettes, and we should be fine. See, what's unfortunate, we've gotten no fights, because this guy has, you know, a thing where you get 10 cigarettes when you use a cigarette case, and he does better in combat when he's got his drugs at him. So when he's riding that nicotine high. Here we go. Speak of the devil. You can hear a faint sobbing sound coming from an alley nearby. There, you approach a man on his knees. When you take a step closer, he suddenly stops and perks up. You can hear the nauseating sound of tearing skin. Glued corpse. So, now that we're in a normal fight, you have various actions you can take. Support actions that are like find a weapon. You can try to... You have your allies help you out. You can observe him. Stuff like that. But the main thing we're going to be doing is... So, the hit chance, as you can see in the left there, is 72%. And that's based off of our strength and his power. His power is only 8. So, yeah, the higher its power, the harder it will be to hit. Currently, your chance to hit is lowered by 12%. So, without it, it would be an 84% chance to hit. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna test the heavy hit twice. Ooh, so we can do 2 heavy hits and a light hit with our weapon. So in theory we can do 16, 22 damage. We can, in theory, kill him in 1 turn if we hit every time. That's not likely, so. Yep, that's okay. So now what we'll do, this one means your next hit is guaranteed, so we'll just do that and hit him and kill him. Okay, so we got enough XP to level up there. Using firearms as melee weapons deals more damage. Nah, we're not using guns. So, do you want to have more luck or more perception? Let's go for perception because that's not too terrible for our stats. And then we'll boost our strength again. Because as you saw in that fight, strength makes us more accurate. Another one we have to discard 2 items to complete a quest. I'm not doing that, I don't think, this time. So, let's use a cigarette now that we lost some sanity. I mean, if we find another item, then maybe I will, but as it is... Let's ignore the package. Oh, I should have read that out loud, sorry. I kind of went on autopilot. When I'm playing by myself, without recording, I just kind of quickly do the results, because I know a lot of these. But, for YouTube, I think it's better if I speak them, so... Or narrate them would be the more accurate word. You find a heavy tome wrapped in moth-eaten black velvet in an old locked cabinet. When you remove the book, you recoil in disgust. It's bound in human flesh. Let's burn it. You may never know what's inside the hideous book, but that's a good thing. Minus 3% doom. That's actually really good. Oh, and I've been forgetting to read the quest log too. Following a suspicious person, you entered an old rundown mansion room. It stinks like spoiled milk and has only 2 doors, one of which you came through. You can't see the strange man anywhere. Leave through the door, search the room. Let's search. Something really important here, but you think you might be able to find... You might be able to use the 1 item you do find. Library book. Alright, well we got 2 items so we can do the side quest. You find a huge pile of nets and hooks prepared for the big hunt. That's weird for fishers to say. You quickly throw them into the ocean, maybe that'll stop them from sailing out. Oh, I see. It's us saying we're gonna be doing a big hunt because we're trying to stop the fishers from going out. I forgot to read the thing again. Cool air suddenly fills your mouth. It tastes metallic. Before you can react, you hear a low growling sound coming from behind you. Canis, the lunar cat. So with 15, it's minus 15%. That makes sense. So we got a 75% chance to hit. So if we do that, and then maybe that should be almost guaranteed we kill them. Nice. The hell? Sorry about that. Phone notifications, I'll put it away. From the mic anyways. The young man has glassy eyes and mumbles his replies as he caresses his catch. The beating movement of his arms disturbs you. Sorry, I have this thing where the more I read, the less clearly I read them. You're stopped by a person with a knife. They look incredibly sad. It wants me, but I'm afraid I'm too much of a coward to do it myself. Can you help me? Fast hands, interesting. Talk them out of it, let them kill. Well, I mean, we'll try to talk them out of it, but I'm not charismatic, so yeah. Unable to convince a person, you close your eyes as they jump off the cliff. -2 reason. After a slow interrogation, the young man manages to stutter out something about an organized fishing trip. I gotta stop putting my hands in holes! Another bite. You slip out at night and race towards the beach, terrified of what comes next. The full moon shines bright in the cloudless night sky. The ink-black ocean waves glimmer eerily. All the residents have drawn their shutters tight and locked their doors. Your footsteps are silent in the sand. The only audible sounds are your ragged breathing and pounding heartbeat. You arrive at the water's edge, breathless. The possessed fisherman's boat fills the horizon with their light. Tiny yellow spots navigating across a dark ocean under a dark sky. You cannot make out the figures on board. So I think with this, if we had a specific item, we'd be able to do more here. I think that's what that means anyways. It's not the sailors. The black beings must have left their bodies. Shocked, you watch them sail their way out of the harbor. You're terrified at their power, but relieved that they did not drag their meat puppets with them. The black beings never returned, yet mothers would not let their children play on the beach. Over time, people forgot the last time they saw a boat out in the waves. Although some claim they see strange beings come into the port at night. Ending A. The old god stirs. What? I have sworn it was Monday, not Tuesday, right? 5% doom. So this is actually pretty dangerous because that's a lot of... It's effectively removing a safety net for me by a pretty good amount. And I've been very careful about not being, whatchamacallit, reckless with my time and like trying to not let the doom fill up too much. The only thing I did that was bad was I re-rolled a shop. But otherwise I've been pretty good about that. I mean, let's just keep taking the XP boost for now. We've got 2 left. Far Out Fable of a Fear Festival. Your aunt has sent you a letter inviting you for a curious-sounding festival that's held every 27 years in a small village. You don't like the sound of it, but your parents both agree you need a break from all the stress. Inside the letter, there's a bus ticket. What's the worst that could happen? You ask yourself as you board the bus. So this one is cool because it takes place entirely out of town. Just when you thought your stomach couldn't handle it anymore, the janky old bus stops at its destination. You get up and take a deep breath before looking around. It's a small village and the nearby fields are surrounded by a thick forest. Someone's waiting for you. A fat man wearing dusty overalls approaches you. It's the inn owner who promised to pick you up. Following close behind him, your eyes are drawn to his hands, which are so deformed they resemble claws more than hands. Your group has arrived in the village and is currently unpacking at the inn, giving you time to explore. The festival begins in the evening. To progress this mystery, choose actions that will advance the clock as you learn about the terrible secret of this village. More actions will unlock. I'll check out the inn for now. The inn's room is dusty, like it hasn't seen any visitors in years. You wonder if anyone cleaned it since the last festival 27 years ago. There's a folder of available activities lying on the table. Oh, interesting. It's just a free action. I wanted to check out the room more than anything else, but whatever. Well, let's explore the weird village first. Then what? We can check out the festival after we get some clues. You had no idea that the funeral you've been invited to would end with the guests slashing their hands to feed the deceased with their blood. You stay at the back, shocked by how grotesque it is. Suddenly the guests turn their heads in your direction. Nah. Ow! The guests mean business! You break into a frantic run, however, this only enrages the mourners. They soon catch up and overpower you. After involuntary sacrifice, they toss you out in the street. Oh, that's really bad. The festival grounds are not open to visitors. Maybe you should check it out. Sure. At the festival, buy souvenirs, look for friends. Let's enjoy the festival. You break out into a cold sweat when you see the street vendor's twisted grimace. You back off, wishing it was only a mask. Today's goal: learn more about the festival itself. A weird sound wakes you up. You step closer to the window and look out. You can't see anything and get ready to go back to bed when suddenly the moon comes from behind the thick clouds. 3 hooded figures are standing at the forest's edge. One by one, they light their torches and disappear behind the trees. What was that about? They all wore strange masks. Should you inform them, or should you follow them into the forest or try to find more information about the festival? Let's check the forest out. Parasitic organism burrows into the bark, undulating slowly. Ah! -2. Well, we're almost leveled up. Yeah, here we go. In fact, let's level up now. Core strength. All combat moves deal an additional point of damage. Yeah, that's what we're going for, baby. Combat man. 10 strength. Let's go. A sudden storm forces you to find shelter in a nearby cave. Looking around, you discover strange markings on the cave's walls. Try to decipher them. Oh, we actually passed! +5 experience. You recognize the strange symbols and connect them to the horrors plaguing your town. Someone is watching you from behind the trees. Well, cav at me then. Following a trail of rotten fruit, you stumble on a small forest shrine. It's probably dedicated to some local spirit. The small statue looks alien and menacing. Ah, that's really bad! You topple the evil-looking statue. Nothing seems to happen, but you have a terrible feeling about it. Going back to the inn, you overhear two masked villagers. They're talking about something awakening at the next dawn. You wonder what's up with that. You decide to block the entrance to your room with a nightstand. The festival is ending tomorrow, and you can't be too careful. Let's explore the village again, I guess. Your friend welcomes you with a strange smile. I knew you'd come back, they say, letting you inside the kitchen. A naked man wearing a bag over his head is tied to a chair. His left thigh has already been stripped of meat. Your friend picks up a meat cleaver and takes a step toward the man. Yeah, I'm good. I think I'm good, bud. Let's see if we can get a souvenir. Doggo! Sorry, a bottle of milk. Trinket. Cook and eat it. The hell? 2, 2, 1. We'll get a bottle of milk. Why is it so quiet all of a sudden? Where is everybody? Is that blood? Today's goal, find the missing people. A trail of blood and sickly smelling sludge leads to the outskirts of the village. Somewhere in the dark forest, there's an answer waiting for you. By the way, I love how that makes it look like a face almost, with the eyes there. Like, this game has a great art style to it. This pair's been following you since morning. You finally managed to lose them, but you can't shake the feeling that it'll only get worse. That doesn't make sense where we're at, but okay. 3 actions until sunrise. It's about time to be out of cash. Okay, so he only shows up when you're out of money, it looks like. Fine. You can... Use this for now. Get to your overgrown factory. While exploring the factory, you're caught by masked people you've seen from the inn's window. After tying you up, they bring you to the cult leader. We knew you'd come, you hear a raspy voice. Your aunt's voice, coming from behind the priest's weird mask. She signals towards the door behind her. Our master is waiting for a final blood sacrifice. Okay. With a loud bang, the ancient horror disappears and the high priest falls to the floor, grabbing their shoulder. The last thing you see before blacking out are the beams of flashlights in the hand of a police officer, saving you from falling. Later that day, detectives interrogating you are confused when you tell them about the ritual blood and eldritch being. The village is abandoned and with no trace of blood anywhere. You are the only one seeing the ancient horror. Ending A. While you couldn't catch the leader of the cult to interrogate them, the people are safe. You board the old bus, wondering what would happen if you didn't stop the ritual this time. Or in time. We didn't stop shit, let's be real. That was all the police. And a rare moments of the police being extremely competent in this story. Good for them. Alright, we're almost done. Roads leading out of town were closed by the police. You'll have to find a new way out. That's bad. Investigating village, mansion, and forest costs 1% more doom. So the nice thing is now that we have this, we can fill the empty water bottle. And that gives us a empty bottle of water, and then we can use it for stamina. Well, let's just keep boosting our XP for now, since we're close to the end. Sheathing Chronicle of a Crimson Cape. A new game is spreading among your friends. A dare to stay in the unused school restroom after classes. A dare to meet Akamanto. What was originally harmless fun was turned deadly. The body of a boy was found last week. The school principal has banned the game, but that's only made it more popular. Akamanto must be stopped before the kid is killed. Gather gossip about the current mystery. So to do that, we go to schoolyard and we talk to people. Nope. There we go. When Akamanto asks what tripper you want, you must refuse everything. You've heard some versions of the legends. Everyone agrees you can't take anything the man offers you, though. One of your friends says he doesn't believe in curses, and he intends to complete the dangerous dare. What an idiot. The corridor is flooded by a black sludge that's slowly oozing from underneath the door of the chemist. Oh, I have a bottle! But it's not empty. Out of curiosity, if I do this, will it register? No, that sucks. Oh god, we're resting is effective, that's fine. You know, speaking of though injuries, let's go to the hospital again. Let's get this mangled hand taken care of because that's pretty bad. Stable condition, nice, nothing happened. Fortunately, we can't afford any other treatment because, yeah, most we get is one and a major, minor. We could get rid of one of them, but it's not a big deal, so we'll just keep it as is. You report it to your principal, who promises he will take care of it. With your friends safe for now, you should look into the legend. Maybe records in the city's library mention Akamanto. Something's wrong. You don't see anyone on the street, and you could have sworn it was Carter just a minute ago. You better hurry out of here. You read a story about a vengeful samurai known for wearing a crimson red cape. It's an interesting find for sure, but you need more information. As part of the therapy, some patients take part in art classes. Some of their work fills you with dread. Oh, I went to the wrong place on accident. Whoops. That was just bad. You catch a glimpse of an art class. One disturbing painting draws your attention. Oh, did I take... Do I have... I took art knowledge! Let's go! Use your art knowledge to interpret the weird painting. You gasp in horror, but quickly recognize the dystopian surrealist style. You ask for the painting so you can sell it to an avid art collector. Look at us. One of the articles mentions a young doctor who performed a life-saving surgery on a victim of a brutal assault. The assault happened in the toilet stall. Maybe he still works at the hospital. You meet with your friend who has recently started her nurse practice. You lazily chat on the roof of the hospital watching the sunset. Now would be the perfect opportunity to ask about the recent unlikely events. Nah, let's just relax. Sometimes it's better not to know. You chat until your friend's break is over. You learn that the doctor suddenly left the hospital after the latest murder, taking all of the records with him. Why would he do that? That's not the only bad news. Your friend didn't come to school today, and now the body has supposedly been found. Well, let's find out if it was our friend. She said she would do everything to be with you, even if it meant to cheat death itself. Stalker girl, my kind of woman. Anyways, let's beat the shit out of her, yeah? Yeah. Yeah. Occult diary. Oh, nice. Let's go ahead and just use it right away. Minus 3% doom. The principal has ordered the school to be closed down for the investigation. We going to the police, maybe? Your path is blocked by rotting corpse covered in poison ivy. Lovely. 20 power too. That's pretty. So that's pretty tough, but it's less than the last person we fought. So nice. OTK. Nah, we don't need that anymore. I think we're at the end of the mission already, so we'll just do quick thinking for the dex. And I think our strength's pretty good now. Let's go. Let's make sure we don't die, actually. We'll just bump our reason now. That doesn't give you max reason, it just heals you, I believe. So, but either way, we're hurt, so. You break the window and get inside the school unnoticed. The cursed toilet is located on the 3rd floor. Get over there! Impossible angles and seemingly moving lines make your head spin. How is it possible? There's no turning back now. You step into the last stall and close the door behind you. You wait in the stall, trying to be as quiet as possible. Suddenly, squish, squeak! You hear the sound of a rubber boots as an unknown liquid drips from the tiles. Squish, squeak! You can see the top of his head. He's taller than any man you've ever seen. Squish, squeak! The door slowly opens. A masked man dressed in a red coat, clearly too tall for the ceiling, emerges from outside. Tell me. His voice sounds like a faulty radio. Would you like red paper or blue paper? I don't want anything from you. It's getting darker. The tall man in the red coat slowly takes their mask off as stall walls wither and rot and reality starts to crumble. Ah, come on, true form. Go good. This, that, 20% harder to hit. We can manage. Yeah. 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 Nah. Let's do this quick. Shebang! Nice. With that, we can kill him here. Yeah! Combat Man! Yakuza! When you wake up, you find yourself back in the toilet stall, thinking it was all a dream. You stand up only to hear a crack from under your shoe. There lies a broken crimson mask. Akamanto might return one day, but now you know that ancient horrors can be defeated. And with that, the whole town stopped receiving any outside signal. It must be a radio mass failure. That's fine. That one doesn't. I don't know what the hell that one does, to be honest. Oh yeah, we got rid of our empty bottle that fight, so let's get some reason back this time. Now we go to the lighthouse. We have 61% doom, so I'm gonna rest a little bit before we go. That should be good. Start climbing. Following the winding staircase, you are stopped by a metal gate. The tiny page nailed to the gate explains that opening the gate will require you to grab two metal rods. Using your own body as a natural conductor, you will power up the gate. You grab the rods, electricity flowing through your body and burning the nerve endings. The pain is almost unbearable, but with a buzz, the gate opens. So what's cool about the lighthouse is it kind of tests everything. Like, you can't just ignore all your stats or else you might get punished pretty hard. And if you're low on health, you could just die. So, following the winding staircase, you find a metal gate that blocks your way. The cable that should be powering it is currently disconnected. The power box itself is covered in a wet, weird, moist goo. Just inhaling the fumes makes your eyes itch and water, but to power the gate, you'll need to disconnect the faulty plug. So that was a strength check. Weird goo burns your fingers, but you quickly manage to separate the faulty plug and connect the proper cable. With a buzz, the gate opens. Oh yeah, because of our compass we leveled up, so let's just... Since we haven't done... we already did a knowledge one earlier, let's do this, and we'll do this double dip charisma in case we get a charisma check. Following the winding staircase, you are stopped... Wait a minute. Someone has been taking photos focused on you. The photos include the enemies you fought with... There's something wrong, but you can't precisely say what. It's like the second enemy you fought this run. So first was the ghost, second was the glued corpse, because I remember I wanted to show you guys a normal combat, and I found the ghost first, and then yeah, this was the first guy we fought. The first fight we had. You rip the photo. Underneath it is a tiny button. You press it, and with a buzz, the gate opens. It also tests your memory for what you've done in the run, too. You were stopped by a girl wearing a dirty black school uniform. "I'm sorry, but I can't let you go any further," she says, reaching for her bag. "It's too late anyway." You instinctively take a step back when you notice a knife in her hand. You have to think fast. Try to reason with her. You try to talk her into allowing you to pass. "It's too late anyway," she whispers again, letting you continue. The delinquent girl nods sadly as you pass her. Alright. See, good thing we boosted our charisma there. Following the winding staircase, you are stopped by darkness. A thick black cloud is obscuring your vision, and you can swear something is waiting for you inside of it. Well, if we had a light source, that would help us, but... You decide to brave the veil. You finally emerge a while later, safe. You can't, however, explain the blasphemous whispers you heard. Following the winding staircase, you find a metal gate that blocks your way. It's locked, but you notice an electrical cable. It seems to connect the door to a hole inside the central pillar. There's a switch inside. You'll have to reach getting cut by the numerous glass shards and knives. I'm guessing this is a dex check. Yep. You can feel the sharp glass ripping your flesh as you search for the switch. Finally, you grab a cable and follow it with your bleeding fingers until you find the button. With a buzz, the gate opens. A dark cloud swirls around the lighthouse. Did you arrive too late? Nah, we did it. Easy. We're so good at this game. Look at that. Congratulations, you're safe for now. So we got five new achievements. That's okay. Well, speaking of achievements, I guess I'll show you a bit of that too before we end this episode. So as you do various challenges that are here, and you can always look to see what the achievements are too. You know, they don't always make the most sense, like discover a hole in the painting. But as you do achievements, you unlock more things in game. So at any time, this is the one I just got actually. At any time in the game, have 30 cigarettes in the inventory, so unlocks 4 in cigarettes. So yeah, as you can see, there's 96 unlockables you can get in this game, including other characters like you saw that I had and whatnot. So, in other old gods too. So it's pretty cool, all things considered. So what did we get? Oh, we got probably this one. Yeah, unlock school nurse location. And we got one for winning with what's his toes, I think. Yeah, one to play through using the 7th Curse backstory, which got us another backstory option. Thug Survivor. Alright, there. Anywho, so that's World of Horror for now. If you guys like this, you should really check it out. Or if you just wanted to get on with it, you know, and experience the game without me slowly talking over all the events, so you can just play the game and experience it yourself, I highly recommend checking it out on Steam. I always recommend and support indie developers, so honestly, you should check it out. That said, if people seem to like this, I might do another video or two of it. We'll see. But I've just been playing this game a lot, and I thought it'd be fun to share it with you guys. So that's all there is to it, really. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and until next time, stay healthy.